Well, folks, welcome back. In today's episode, we're going to look at an interesting tiny company compared to the others that I have been looking at and investing in called SoundHound AI. Okay. SoundHound AI makes voice recognition AI agent type products for multiple industry segments. Okay. Very interesting little company founded in 2005 by Kayvon, and I'll get the pronunciation of his last name correct in just a second here. So Kayvon Muhajir, and the origin of this company is he's working on his PhD at Stanford University in electrical engineering and watching big fan of Star Trek and was wondering what sort of technologies would be possible in the future uh, that were presented in this fantasy movie and TV franchise. And out of all the different things, he came to realize that voice recognition technology, where humans actually talk to all the different devices around them instead of having an interface based on keyboard or a mouse input, stuff like that, would be possible in his lifetime. So he started working on this technology about over 20 years ago, and it's now coming to a point in time where it's becoming reality and turning into a commercial product. So we're going to look at some of the details here behind SoundHound AI. And we're going to go here. Stock symbol SOUN. Leading agentic voice recognition company. So you can say that essentially the AI is serving the role of an agent or almost like a human or an employee in a business enterprise. So, bigger picture, if we go back in time, back to the 60s, 70s, 80s, yeah, 80s, we started to transition out of this, but I actually had a class in high school, computer science class called Fortran, where we literally used punch cards, okay? We're talking about a machine that would literally punch little holes in paper cards, and a program would be a stack of these punch cards, and we'd have to bundle these punch cards together with a rubber band, send them over to a computer operator at Michigan State, and about a week later, we would actually get a printout as to whether or not our programs worked properly. Of course, this was rapidly replaced in the 1980s with PCs. So the keyboard, um, DOS commands at first, and then we had the mouse with the graphical user interface type of way of dealing with computers. Touch screens came along a little bit later, so now we have cell phones and tablets and things where we can touch the screen and we can interact with it that way. But it seems quite reasonable that as we go forward in time, humans are going to use the communication tool that is most natural for them in order to interface with computer technology, and that is the human voice. Okay. So they have products for automotive, healthcare, restaurants, smart devices. Okay, think about if you have a television that is a smart TV and you could maybe talk to the TV in order to control it. Retail stores have SoundHound type products that they're integrating into it. Okay, so one of the technological advances that makes this company a little different is that other voice recognition technologies and companies basically convert the human voice into text, and then once it's been converted into text, then reconverts it into a form that the AI can interact with. SoundHound has cut out the middle step with their technology. So with their system, voice or sound goes directly to the AI, is transformed directly into the AI, and it reduces latency, which is the amount of time it takes for the AI to hear you and then generate a response, which is nice. And it also improves the accuracy, okay? Because there are potential errors that could happen if your voice was interpreted into text wrong, or if the text was interpreted wrong as it went into the AI. So, technological advantage to SoundHound. Each user interaction that interacts with their products feeds into their proprietary data AI, and essentially trains their AI in order to improve the interaction. So you get this positive flywheel type of effect, is that the more users that use the SoundHound system, the more data they accumulate, the better the training, and the better the training, the better the inference capability. So if you do a little bit of research on this, you can see that there's about a 20 to $30 billion addressable market in the near term for this type of voice recognition technology, and current market capitalization is about $4.5 billion. I expect SoundHound AI to have a pretty significant chunk of this overall market going forward, given its competitive position and focus. And the management team and the strategy of this company looks really solid to me, even though it's, as we're going to see in the next slide, it's pre-earnings. All right. So 5-year annualized revenue growth rate of 48%, and past 1 year, 86%. So we have accelerating earnings, or revenue that is accelerating very quickly, but it's pre-earnings, okay? And that normally for me is a little bit of a concern, okay, that of putting money into an investment where we don't have actual earnings being generated. However, I think it makes a lot of sense given where society is with voice recognition and the rollout of AI in terms of increasing the efficiency of how humans interact with computers, that they invest into the research and development, um, making what I would call bolt-on acquisitions of smaller AI type companies and incorporating their products into their portfolio of their suite of AI products for different industries. So, um, yeah, they probably could be generating positive earnings, but like an Amazon situation where we basically had with Amazon a money losing company for decades before it actually flipped the switch and decided to monetize its its revenue. Um, I do expect the economies of scale that it will generate as it goes forward in time to switch over to a positive earnings environment, perhaps in 2027. Okay. If we look at, we can see this little chart here indicates that's quarterly revenue amounts over time, and you can see that it has all the hallmarks of an exponential type of growth curve. You gotta go back. Okay, so they have one of their bolt-on acquisitions is the Amelia platform. They can customize customer service agents. So we're talking about a company that you can, let's say that you were J.C. Penney and you wanted to have a digital kiosk with customer service answering questions instead of a human. Then you can actually select or program into the AI agent as the company marketing people the type of tone of voice that you want the AI agent to have, like male versus female voice, the tone of voice, whether it's an excitable type of thing, or whether you're trying to give the impression of like a calm, reassuring tone of voice. Brand personality can actually be customized into the AI agent. They have launched a Vision AI product recently. This is in August of this year. So it's multimodal, meaning it incorporates both camera and the microphone sound input to uh, serve specific purposes like maybe picking and placing parts in a warehouse. If you have a camera on you, you could be able to identify things and inputs into the AI, and it creates a little bit more uh, context for the AI in order to understand what it is that you're asking it of. Um, so yeah, acquired the interactions, customer service, and workflow orchestration company in September. So I mean, it makes a lot of sense to me that with a younger, more dynamic, in some sense, a little bit of a chaotic type of industry where we're creating a completely new industry of voice computer recognition interaction type of interface that they're going to be, you know, buying these smaller companies, incorporating their technology into their platform, and that way they can scale out their offerings and use their size in order to uh, become dominant industry leader. I estimate that the total addressable market for this company is about 100 billion market potential by 2035 because I think the exponential rate of increase is definitely going to continue. We're at the very early stage of the S curve adoption that I believe is going to occur. Um, I mean, it could potentially also be a takeover target by one of the mega um, cap type companies. Like you can imagine maybe like a Meta if they decided that SoundHound's voice recognition technology had an advantage over what they were currently using with their homegrown products. They might, you know, Meta's been known to make purchases. Okay, I mean, Meta bought WhatsApp, Meta bought uh, Instagram and incorporated those products into their platform. But I also see the opportunity for a roll-up type of situation where at the very beginning of an industry, you tend to have a lot of fragmentation. For example, the video rental chain Blockbuster was a roll-up case where um, a whole bunch of mom and pop types of VHS cassette rental companies sprung up all across the United States, and Blockbuster just bought them up one piece at a time and incorporated them into a single unified company platform, and that did very, very well for a long time until Netflix came along. Waste management, uh, the garbage pickup type business is a similar type of roll up type of business model. Company recently raised its full year 2025 revenue estimates. So yeah, um, I think that's a good sign. I mean, the things are going in the right direction. Stock price dropped 50% from its recent highs of $21 a share as of the making of this video, November 21st. We're talking about $11.18 a share. And so I always try to, whether it's socks or stocks, I'm always interested in buying what I consider to be quality merchandise when it's on sale. And so, yeah, I think this is a really, really interesting opportunity and something for you to consider for your top of funnel. And as always, each person has their own risk tolerance. My risk tolerance is probably a lot higher than most people. So do your own research on this, And if this looks like something that's interesting to you, then you might want to make this a little portion of your portfolio. Although I will caution everyone is that because it's a smaller company and because the technology is evolving very quickly, the stock price is likely to be pretty volatile, okay? I can handle that volatility with a portion of my portfolio, but maybe some other people can't. All right. So this has been Top of Funnel. I'm Jeff Winiker, and thanks for watching.